I'm hammering this home because, I mean, Phoenix made a number of assumptions in there. Our associate practitioners are self-employed. Well, that's a matter for potentially for a court to decide unless it's written down very clearly in the contracts, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not not just what's in the contract, it's what happens on the ground.
Yeah.
So that can sometimes be an issue.
What sort of things happen on the ground that could change that issue?
So a contractor agreement can say anything it wants to.
Yeah.
But if we actually find in practice that person is coming in 5 days a week, 9 to 5, has to ring in if they're taking an afternoon off and tell somebody exactly what they're doing, and it's tipping, they're not doing what the contractor agreement is saying.
Right.
They're doing something very different. That could tip in potentially into an employee relationship.
But even if your associate comes in 9 to 5, 5 days a week, they could still be sick, so they could call in and say, I can't have patients on that, and they've got to be able to tell the practice that they've got to cancel the patients for that day or that period of time. But you're still saying that they could conceivably be regarded as an employee.
So if that associate is able to say, right, this week I'm not booking any patients in, I have control, I'm assuming they can.
Yes.
They don't have to send a holiday request form in to a practice and say, I'm off to Spain this week, is that okay? That's their choice, they'll earn less. I don't know how that will work in terms of the practice because they'll earn less. But the control is now swinging back to the contractor to be able to make a decision about what they're doing for their week.
One of the key elements in that Pimlico plumbers thing was that the plumber did not have the right to appoint a mutually agreed substitute.
That's correct, yeah.
So if in our practice, it's written into the contract that you as an associate, you can take time off, and if you wish, you can appoint someone who we agree is suitably qualified to take your patients. That would further cement the idea that they're self-employed.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the HMRC things on the checklist.
Yeah. So it's worth
Do you have a
having
right of substitution?
Yeah.
And so it's very rarely used, but that's exactly it. That contractor could say, I'm going off for 3 months to Australia to do a placement, and here's my substitute who's equally qualified, equally experienced, and they're going to take my seat.
And that would work well for both sides, because the practice would be quite happy. We're going to take the same money from this as we would otherwise.
Absolutely.
And we've got what anyone else in medicine would call a locum coming in to substitute for the... So that's a good idea.
So that's the true form, and that's the true form of a contractor. If the honest answer is, no, you can't, because it's a contract for personal service, becomes the employee relationship.
Okay, yeah. In other words, personal service meaning
employee.
You, the person, have to provide
Only
this.
me, yeah.